Growing up as an anime fan who just happens to be black, I've had a few issues, challenges and concerns.
What kind of issues?
Well, you've got the portrayal of black anime characters in anime and manga, the treatment of black cosplayers in the fan community, but there's one issue that I hold near and dear to my heart, due to the amount of bitterness and resentment I bear. How black anime and manga fans are perceived within the black community.
You're weird! Anime is for kids, you need to grow up! You're not Asian! Stop trying to be Asian!
These are comments that I frequently heard growing up, and as you can probably tell, they annoyed me quite a bit. The idea that there are certain things you shouldn't be into as a young black person was extremely ridiculous. It was a problem, and I think the problem has two layers. Firstly, for some odd reason, there was some sort of collection of unwritten rules hidden in some arcane, intangible handbook that black people seem to follow, with one of the rules being, you're only allowed to like sports, rap music, grime music, R&B music, and the culture surrounding them, or else. As a total dork of a nerd who came to accept his nerddom from a very early age, I was always bothered by this rhetoric. Especially as there was quite a few anime shows on TV back in the day, with one of them being so super popular with black folk that it's honestly rare to see a young black man not be a fan of it. That show is Dragon Ball Z by Akira Toriyama.
What the hell is up with the double standards then?
Good question. Oddly enough, that show just happened to have a free
AAA Black Pass, player.
No idea why, apart from it being awesome. That being said, not many black people went past that initial entry point. Reason? I think I can mostly attribute it to the second problem. In a time period where a lot of teens are absolutely desperate to grow up, people who didn't have a burning desire to prematurely age are seen as childish and odd. Anime was just one of those things that didn't fit into the idea of being grown and mature. Put those two things together and you get anime being seen as a dorky, childish, and essentially un-black thing to be a fan of. But somewhere along the line, things seem to have changed. Fast forward about 10 or so years from our dark ages of suffering and strife, and there's suddenly a lot more black anime fans about. And Naruto by Masashi Kishimoto seems to have joined Dragon Ball in the ranks of anime that received the
AAA Black Pass, player.
And I'm happy, but also confused and conflicted. Not to be a gatekeeper, but I have a few questions. Where did all these people come from? Were they always there in hiding? Or are they just new guys who jumped to the wave after seeing how cool anime can be? How do other long-time black anime fans feel about the rise of its popularity within the community? I took to social media to ask my melanated brethren some questions, and here are some of their viewpoints. Nathan, 24 from Thamesmead, you done know, south of the Mount Greenborough, states that, I think that certain animes have always been popular among black people. Dragon Ball Z was the first anime I started watching, and it's always had a cult following with black people. I've never felt embarrassed when watching it growing up. To me, it was just another cartoon. I didn't know back at primary school that Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, Rave Master, Beyblade, etc. all came under the umbrella of anime. I mean, if AJ Tracy is making tunes about Alakazam and Spirit Bomb, it's definitely a step in the right direction to removing the stigma that anime is for nerds and white people. Chad from London, yeah I know, states that anime was super dorky in the early 90s and there wasn't much of it in the UK. Pokemon was the first mainstream hit we had, but back then no one really saw it as anime, just another cartoon. But when Dragon Ball Z showed up, yo, the game changed! You knew you weren't watching some Looney Tunes shit. This was raw, this was violent, this wasn't about the power of friendship, this was about Frieza straight murdering dudes. Just like that, anime was cool and you were cool for watching it. Brandon from Connecticut, yeah we worldwide baby, states that when it came to people my own age, it was a live and let live situation. If he wanted a recommendation, I was, and still am, that guy. All my friends and their friends knew this. Nobody really bothered me or picked on me for it or whatever. Now of older people, think teachers, parents, it was kind of different. They didn't know what it was, so they didn't like it. About 2 or so years ago, my mother told me, I'm sorry for being so hard on you for getting into this stuff. At least you aren't doing drugs or getting into trouble with the law. So some people are turning around to it. As for the culture changing, it really depends. You would need more breakout long-form action shows like Naruto, Bleach, Soul Eater, Dragon Ball to break someone in, generally speaking, and we really don't have those anymore. Those days are over. Man, to be honest, it was something I did at home and didn't really talk about in school. School conversation was about football and girls. It was a loner thing until I found people on the net interested in the same things. Yeah, same. I like the question. The problem is, I think there are a few problems with me answering it. Not for obvious reasons. Danny, my man. It's all good, it's all good. Just this one time, I'm gonna hand you that
AAA Black Pass, player.
But yeah, I'm gonna skip to your last comment because I haven't got much time left. Everyone, I'm gonna put the comment there. Please read it. It's actually pretty insightful. I think to answer your question as best as I possibly can, in the past 10 years, I do not think the perception of anime has changed in the black community. I believe it's stayed the same, and as time has gone on and as people grow older, we're just more open-minded about it. Nevertheless, in school perhaps, it could have changed. But as Jerome and I grew up, and said previously, we never really was part of the black community. And throughout our school years, we stuck with the same group of friends. Neither here nor there. Just anecdotal. Thanks, Danny, that was great. I'm gonna need that AAA back from you though. Yeah, thanks. Oh, but you left another comment on behalf of your friend who doesn't have Facebook. Call me Abe, and a 1,000-year-old Sholter from London. And he says that, growing up as a black anime fan, I never felt part of a black community for anime, so did I share my interest in anime and manga with other people? I think there's been an increase in popularity of anime in general within the black community, and with a lot of celebrities from the black community such as Michael B. Jordan openly admitting that they enjoy anime. But in general, I feel that it's a hobby that should only be shared with others who also share the interest. Sorry if this answer is generic, but it's kind of hard to express an opinion about anime in a formal manner. The normies are everywhere, if you know what I mean, and the conspiracy is real. Yeah, so those are just a few opinions on the situation. I would have loved to have delved into it a bit deeper, but you know, I've got time constraints, so I can't really do that. If you would like to somehow join the discussion though, feel free to contact me on any of my social media sites, you know, YouTube, Twitter, all of that. And yeah, you know, anime rules, normies get out, and yeah, have a nice day.